Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What can I do for Al-Aqsa?
Masjid al-Aqsa has a great consequence to Muslims and all of the Abrahamic religions. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam took the night journey from al-Masjid al-Haram to al-Masjid al-Aqsa, and that actually solidified the bond between Islam and al-Masjid al-Aqsa. When he took the night journey, he entered into the holy mosque at Masjid al-Aqsa, and he commenced to pray that all his brothers, the prophets, were praying behind him. He then was offered, in the narration of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, in his Musnad, he was offered a cup of milk and a cup of honey. There are other narrations that say a cup of milk and a cup of wine. He chose the milk, and it is narrated that the one who was with him said that is the choice of fitra, the choice of natural instinct, or the choice of natural inclination. The one who was with him was Jibreel alayhi salam. He then departed after saying salam to all of his brother prophets, reinforcing the fact that Islam is the last in a long line of one Islam, i.e. What we call Islam today is an extension of all Islam, which started with Adam alayhi salam and ended with the Holy Prophets. He then went up to the seventh heaven. On his way, he met various prophets. For example, he met Nabi Allah Idris alayhi salam on the fourth heaven, and asked him about what happened. He met Nabi Allah Zakaria, and he asked him about how he died, and that actual journey brings us a lot of the seerah of the prophets that we do not know about, because the hadith from that journey fills in so many gaps. Masjid al-Aqsa has always been a bone of contention between factions. Even before Islam, the Romans wanted Masjid al-Aqsa for its trading potential, and they invaded it. But at the end of the day, Masjid al-Aqsa belongs to the Arabs and it belongs to the Muslims. Masjid al-Aqsa was liberated by Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, and he was respectful to the other religions there. He deliberately did not pray in any of their churches, so the Muslims would not get the idea of changing the churches to mosques. And later on, when the Crusaders invaded Masjid al-Aqsa, Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi also followed the same path of Umar radiyallahu anhu, and also did not convert any churches into mosques. We Muslims throughout history have always respected the people who are in al-Masjid al-Aqsa, because of the fact that it is a haram. The word haram, just in case you don't know what it is, the word haram actually comes from the word haram, which it means it is prohibited to fight in Masjid al-Aqsa. It is prohibited to fight in Mecca. It is prohibited to fight in Medina. It is haram. That's why it's a haram. In English, it is a sanctuary. So these three sanctuaries are Muslim sanctuaries. Anyone who is there is protected from. When we're talking about fighting, we're not talking about personal fighting. We're talking about armies fighting and factions fighting. Unfortunately, the Zionist entity, in spite of them claiming to adhere to the Jewish religion, who also consider al-Masjid al-Aqsa as a haram, as a sanctuary, unfortunately the Zionist entity do not. And what is happening now in Jerusalem is, in Al-Quds, is an attempt to start the demolishing of Masjid al-Aqsa. It is a place that is blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Allah has said that we have blessed it and anything around it. We ask Allah that He protect al-Masjid al-Aqsa. We ask Allah that He gives more and more courage to the people of al-Masjid al-Aqsa, and we ask Allah that He wakes up the conscience of the Muslims who have actually decided to forget al-Masjid al-Aqsa. As us brothers in the UK, we are far away, and we live under the law of a land, which means we cannot physically fight. However, there are many ways to fight for al-Masjid al-Aqsa, apart from violence. The natural inclination would be to actually give money. Yeah? Giving money is a good thing, of course, but it does not solve. Right? It is a bandage, it is not a cure. What the brothers in al-Masjid al-Aqsa and in Gaza have been saying in the past 4 or 5 days is, all we want you to do is talk about it. Talk about it. Keep us in your dua, but keep talking about it. So do not relegate it to just your silent dua or £10 in the donation box. If you are on Twitter, tweet about it. If you are on Twitter or on Facebook or on whatever social media you have, talk about it, argue about it for those who are against us, and educate those who do not know. There are many people who actually do not know the history, right? So all of this is ibadah, and all of this will be in your in the scales of reward, inshallah, on the day of judgment, even if it is a word in front of an oppressive tyrant is jihad. So send an email to your MP. He will probably ignore it, but Allah sees you doing it. And if he ignores your email, he won't ignore 1,000 emails. So our role as Muslims who live in the West is very important, because as most of you know, the war is not just a war of guns and bullets and bombs. The war is a war of media. So far, the Zionist entity have actually managed to win the media war by using the anti-Semitism label for anybody who opposes what they do. In this particular incident, it seems that the tide has changed. They have gone too far. It doesn't work anymore. It is our duty to continue the media pressure. And the media pressure is in the form of comments on Facebook, posts on Facebook, tweets, arguing in threads, and inshallah we will all get the reward for what we have done. Allah does not see any good deed as too small. Everything is in the scales. If you have a YouTube channel, broadcast something, even if it isn't your own image or your own creation. Find something that is educational and broadcast it. If each one of us just educates one ignorant person, we will win the media war, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين. Let me have a second there, so I can